evening and welcome to the Poliscope on Dominion Television, Ibadan. The program where politics meets perspective and the issues shaping our democracy are examined beyond the headlines. Tonight we turn the focus to Oyo State's evolving political landscape as the countdown to 2027 general elections gradually begins, with established parties consolidating their structures and emerging voices seeking stronger footing. One question stands out. Where does accord truly stand in this unfolding political contest? So, the topic tonight is very simple. Challenger or contender, weighing Accord's 2027 perspective and prospect in Oyo State. And to help us navigate this crucial conversation, we are joined by a key voice within the party's leadership. Samson Balogun is my name. Oyo State has long been a battleground of strong political identities, vibrant grassroots participation, and shifting alliances. Over the years, power has often been rotated among major political platforms, while smaller and alternative parties have worked to carve out space, build structures, and present themselves as credible options to the electorate. As 2027 draws closer, the political atmosphere is already charged with strategy realignment and quiet mobilization across wards, local governments, and constituencies. Voters are paying closer attention to what is going on, not just to personalities, but to party ideologies, internal cohesion, and the ability of political movements to translate promises into practical governance. So for Accord, this moment presents both opportunity and scrutiny. Is the party positioning itself as a serious contender with a structure, reach, and message to challenge dominant forces in Oyo State? Is a very big question. Or is it still playing the role of a challenger, testing its strength and influence in a highly competitive political environment? So tonight's discussion will examine the party's grassroots presence, leadership strategy, public perception, and policy direction, as well as the broader implication of Oyo State's democratic future. And to shed light on these critical questions, I am privileged to have with us in the studio Badru Idris Oriyomi, State Publicity Secretary of the party, Accord, in Oyo State, who will share insight into the party's vision, preparations, and the expectations as the road to 2027 unfolds. Thank you for joining us on the show this evening. Badru Idris Oriyomi, good to have you in the studio.
Good evening, my host, and good evening to all our viewers at home. It's a pleasure being on this program with you this evening.
You are the Publicity Secretary.
Yes.
For Accord.
Yes.
In Oyo State.
Oyo State, yes.
What's the difference? Accord Party. There used to be a political party called Accord Party, which swept Ibadan Northeast a few years ago when the now Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu championed the cause at the time. And it shook some places in Oyo State. In fact, some local governments eventually belonged to Accord at that time. Now, the question is, what's the difference? Accord Party.
Well, thank you very much. First and foremost, the Accord that Baba brought, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Kabiyesi Rashid Adewolu Arusa the First. It was Accord, and it's still Accord.
Okay.
But there are unscrupulous elements from opposition. They turn it to Accord Party.
Accord Party instead of
Accord Party.
Okay.
So they turn it to Accord Party. And when you check INEC, it is simply written as Party A.
Party A, Accord.
Accord.
Simply Accord.
Simply Accord. That is why we are at the top. So when you are checking the ballot paper, Accord comes first.
Okay.
Had it been there is a P at the back, it will turn to AP. And it will not be at the top anymore. That is why we in Accord, we are saying that Accord is simply Accord. Or you can call it Party A. So that is the difference between the two.
Okay. For those who do not really know much about Accord as a political party, I have a very big question for you. What's the ideology of the political party? We've got the progressives, conservatives, labor, and so many other ideologies, flowing through political parties across Africa, Nigeria, even the world at large. So what's the ideology? What stands you out as a political party?
Well, when we are talking about ideologies and when you talk about, especially when people say we are progressive, some people say we are conservative, I term it as a relative term.
Okay.
Which means that you might be calling yourself a progressive.
And you're not really progressive.
And you're not really progressive. So that is why any party that champions the cause of, the masses, and that always seek the developmental effect in its policy, that kind of party, we can call it progressive. For the fact that you are in accord does not mean that you are not progressive. It depends on the kind of policy you are rolling out. How well are you connected to the realities of our people? So now, Accord is a party that was brought to Oyo State by our current Olubadan of Ibadan. It was brought in 2010. At that point in time, Baba wanted to contest. And he had the plan. He had the love of the masses. He had people trooping behind him. But the parties then, the PDP and the likes, they could not give him the ticket. And based on his own ideologies, he went ahead and bring in Accord. So and when you look at the history of Accord, within the short period of time, he brought in Accord. Within 3 months, he used it to contest. And at that point in time, we got 8 seats at the Oyo State House of Assembly. We got 4 seats at the federal rep. So in 2015, Baba proceeded again to contest under the same platform. At this point in time, he came second, and we produced 11 House of Assembly members. So Accord is not a new party. Accord has been in existence since 2010, and we are active, but we are deliberate about our actions, our movement, our ideologies, and our rebuilding. Because the time was as a third force, which is actually right, because when you pick the current ruling party, PDP, you are going to pick APC as well. Then Accord is now the third force. Now I can sit here and tell you authoritatively that we are no longer the third force. We are the real force in Oyo State.
I was about to ask you, where do you think Accord is? When we talk about politics in Oyo State, where is your space?
Well, the real issue here, because when you look at the topic of the discourse, we're talking about, are we a challenger or challengers? The real issue is not about whether you are a challenger or you are a contender. The real issue is about people of Oyo State that are demanding alternative. And Accord, as we are speaking right now, we are positioning ourselves as the responsible alternative party in Oyo State. And when you look at the acceptance for the past few months in the political landscape of Oyo State.
You want to compare the acceptance when the then Senator Rashidi Adewale, now the Olubadan of Ibadan land, brought Accord party to Oyo State.
Yes.
And what we are seeing now, what's the difference?
Are
there similarities?
There are similarities because the strength the then former governor, the current Olubadan, put that time, it was as a result of organic support and organic love. Same thing is applicable now. When Baba brought in Accord, he didn't bring it in just because he has money to share with people. He brought the party with his personality, and people loved him. They show support, and that kind of support, it can never be bought. So same thing, that's what we call similarity between what we are seeing now. Accord has never been a party that is, inducing its members. People are joining Accord voluntarily because of the fact that it's a party that really cares for the common good of the masses.
Okay, is your party still benefiting from the influence the then Senator Rashidi Adewale had and still has?
Well, the Accord, no matter what,
is the Olubadan of Ibadan.
I know.
There's a question I'm going to ask you after this very one.
Baba now, the Olubadan of Ibadan land now, Baba is now a father for all. He is no longer in Accord. is the father for all political parties and all the aspirants, whether you are a contender or a challenger. Even if you're a pretender as well, Baba is still father for all. So there's nothing like Baba has influence in Accord. Baba is the father for all, and Baba has, left partisan politics. He's now playing a fatherly figure role in political space of Oyo State. So Accord, but nevertheless, if you go to the street, if you go to the market and preach Accord, first thing that will come to the minds of the people is that Egbe Ladoja, that is the party of Ladoja. So now when you settle in a particular village and you contribute immensely to development of that village, even if you are no longer in that village anymore, people will still reckon with your achievement and your antecedent. That is why we are having that. No matter how we want to paint it, you cannot remove the names of Baba Ladoja from Accord.
Okay, basically, this party was created in the year 2006, yes. Brought to the Southwest almost at the same time. Yes. And also, when you look at the chairman of the party at the national level, that's Barrister Maxwell Obinali. Yes, you just mentioned it. I don't want to, murder the name. That's why I avoided that. And of course, the state chairman, in person of Prince Kolade Ojo. Is there going to be a convention before the 2027 general election in Accord?
Well, Accord as we have it now, our house are in order. Correct.
So there's no need for a convention?
There's no need. If there's going to be, we will communicate. But as we are speaking now, Accord is in one accord. Mm. So we are...
Just like the slang, oneness and progress.
Oneness and progress. There's no faction whatsoever.
The party is one now.
Is one.
And do you think you are making progress as such?
We are making progress because, it is not about being the largest party. Mm. It's about the growth rate. The rate at which we are growing is immense. And the kind of support we are getting, if you go through various local governments in Oyo State, go to ward level, even at the polling unit level, we have people coming up and say, we want to be part of this process.
Okay. Not long ago, a personality moved into your political party. And people are asking a lot of questions. Okay. It was crystal clear that the move didn't just happen. It has been in the offing for a long time. And eventually, he joined your party.
Yes.
And looking at what we saw at the ground on that day, is it safe to say that your party now has a candidate for the next general elections, the gubernatorial election?
Well, when you, the whole conversation and the whole event was stacked, declaration of intent. He is the only one for now that has declared his interest in the gubernatorial seat, as far as Accord is concerned. Accord is actually throwing its door widely open for prospective aspirants to come.
It is clear that your party has no candidate as we speak.
There's no candidate here because even the guidelines of INEC has never given a directive to conduct primary. So now as we speak, we only have aspirants. And he's not the only one that joined. People joined from other parties. Like there's a particular man, the former liaison officer of His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde. He left PDP and joined Accord. So it was not only Dr. Yomi Amzat that joined Accord. He joined with people of like minds that they feel like, okay, this is another responsible alternative party. Because people are yearning for new face. Because we have tried both APC, we have tried both the APC and PDP. Now, they are tired of recycled politicians.
Members of the PDP, as we speak in Oyo State, will argue that with you. They think and they know that Governor Seyi Makinde is doing excellently well. That's the narrative in the PDP.
In the PDP.
And they will argue that with you. So you have a different opinion to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me tell you something. We are politicians. We know how we operate. Politicians will never tell you that he's sick, even at the point of death. Everyone knows that PDP is no longer the PDP we used to know.
What's the difference then and now?
The then PDP was compact. They were in one accord like we used.
One voice.
One voice. But now we have different factions. One will be ruling from Abuja, another will be ruling from Oyo State. So now, in their, you know, I do say that it's only an unserious aspirant that will sit in a dilapidated party and expect to win the election. So now, the PDP is out of the question. They have to find alternatives.
So is the PDP dead?
It is as dead as anything. But you know, our governor is a very strong man. He can never admit that. So he had to muster the courage and let's keep on piloting the.
So the PDP is no longer one of the parties that your party is scared of when it comes to elections. If there's an election tomorrow, you don't consider PDP to be a threat.
In fact, I don't consider any of the two parties as a threat. Not only the PDP. I don't consider any of them as threats because people are yearning that we are no longer interested in, you know, having recycled and failed politicians. These are the people that will promise you A, they will come back and do D. In fact, they might not even do D and go to Z.
And some of them are not in your political party.
Majority of them are not. Because that is why, like I said earlier, I said we were deliberate about our growth and our build-up to 2027. That is why we are not looking at the politician per se. What made us to achieve success in 2011 was the fact that we went into the grassroots and bring people that have antecedents. They use the platform and they succeed. In 2027, we are applying the same method, but more strategically. We are not presenting a candidate just because he has been maybe senators before, rep before, or something like that. We are going into the grassroots because those are the people that are voting. They constitute the largest voting bloc as far as the electioneering is concerned. These are the people that they will troop out under the sun, under the rain. They will stay there, they will cast their vote, and they will go back home until their favorite candidate emerge. But when it's time to roll out policy, when it's time for the dividend of democracy, those are the most neglected section of our society. So that we are saying that okay, these are the people that are contributing the 80% of success rate as far as the election is concerned. Why can't we go back to that 80%? They are the majority here. Let's pick someone that truly knows their sovereign and has the courage to act in alleviating that sovereign. That was why when we were making deliberation and making the findings, that was okay. When we look at Dr. Remy Hamzat, when he showed interest in our party, we felt like, oh, this is
so
the
you
kind
approached him.
He had a movement which was known as the Oyonkwe movement. So the movement was structured. They have their own leadership structure. So the leadership structure got engaged with our own party. And we find out that we can align with this movement. Because when you look at the candidate, when you look at the credibility, when you look at his antecedent, he is someone that has been standing up where policies of government fails. He has been the one that has been fighting the cause of the common man. And he has been the one that, even if someone dumps a baby on the roadside, they will say, take it to Agidigbo. They will not remember government agency. So we feel like well, this is the kind of person that even the opposition are dying to have.
Okay, I'm still coming back to talk about how your party intends to select a candidate come 2027 and if there's going to be a primary or a consensus. But the thing is, what should average Nigerians or your state people what should they be looking out for in your political party for them to be sure that you are not just a challenger, but a serious contender as far as 2027 is concerned?
Let me tell you something. A challenger builds on social media, while contender merges social media and physical reality, the structure. That is why Accord is ever present in every word. And for them to know that we are very serious, we are the leadership structure of the party. We are very, very determined. That is why, naturally, we don't get to know about Accord until when the primary election is done in both parties. So someone that felt maybe cheated, you feel like, well, the only thing I can go to is let me go to Accord.
Go to another political party.
But now,
are you referring to the Minister of Power,
We know now.
Chief Adebayo Adelabu,
Eh,
who moved to your party
He moved to our party.
because he left APC.
He left APC when he knew that he was not going to get the ticket.
So your party is no longer a compensation.
We
or it
are
means
not.
to get back at other politicians.
I'm telling you, we are on live now. We are not second fiddle anymore. We are now a proper and ever-ready party.
So you are saying that your party is no longer a tool to get back at
We are not.
the other political parties.
We are. That is why when you go to our various local governments now, we have many aspirants as far as your state House of Assembly is concerned. They are showing their interest. They keep working because we have positioned our party to a certain extent that we are now let's say the latest bride. Everybody wants to agree with us. So that is why at this period, a year to election, everybody is talking about Accord. And traditionally, you get to know about Accord through maybe 3 months to election. So now we are not looking at the immediate. We are tackling the remote cause of our downfall in the past. So that is why we are not presenting a candidate that will not be sellable.
Now,
Not only the governorship candidate, though. Let me emphasize that.
okay.
We are presenting 32 House of Assembly members. We are presenting 14 federal reps, and we are presenting 3 senators and a governor. And all of these people, we are going to contest.
They go through the same process.
The same process, they are going to contest, they will emerge as winners, and we are going to govern properly come 2027.
Okay, now that you have mentioned what your party is to present come 2027, the question is, Oyo State has 33 local governments. 11 of them are in Ibadan. The rest are scattered across Okiogun, Ibarapa, Ogbomosho, Oyo, and so many other places in the state. But the big question is, does your party believe in zoning? There are insinuations in town that it is the turn of the Okiogun. They are no longer interested in playing second fiddle. We no longer want to be deputy governors. We want to rule Oyo State. And Oyo State is 50. And since Oyo State became what it is today, it has been difficult for the people from Okiogun to rule Oyo State because probably numbers, Ibadan has the numbers. And definitely when it comes to zoning, usually it favors Ibadan. How prepared is your party when it comes to zoning and distribution of positions evenly without anyone feeling cheated or aggrieved?
Well, yeah, let's state it categorically that every Oyo State indigene has a right to contest. Irrespective of your region, whether you are Ibadan or Okiogun, you have every right to contest. Now, and when we are looking at the voting pattern, it was never based on ethnic block. It was based on senatorial district. When you look at, we have 3 senatorial districts. We have Oyo North, we have Oyo Central, we have Oyo South. So now, if you want to agitate, you can agitate based on those 3 criteria, whether you are from Oyo South, Oyo North, Oyo Central. However, power is not served on a platter. If you have what it takes, put yourself into the ring and let's see how far it goes. We are not saying that you cannot contest. If you have, let's assume we have in our party now, someone from Okiogun showed interest and he has the power, the strength, the court followings to be a flag bearer of a party. That person should come out. We are not saying that it is not, in their right to request for that. They can contest. Anybody can contest. But I would advise that what we should be, looking at is local government autonomy first. Because when there is autonomy of a local government, you tend to develop your local government at your own pace because you receive whatever allocation directly to your purse. You'll be able to monitor. And let me tell you something, development comes through local government because we know they are the closest
to the people.
So now imagine a local government getting 700 million naira every month. If that 700 million naira goes directly into that local government covers, that local government can say, okay, I want to build 4 health centers this month, 2 schools, maybe repair 2 schools. Next month, they will pay salaries and go. And at the end of the day, they will grow at their own pace.
So what's your party's ideology, especially when it comes to local government autonomy?
Yes. Our party's ideology, we are very, I call our party people-powered movement. The energy, the strength, the power we derive as a party is from our people. So we will never go against the will of the people.
That takes us to party supremacy. I was about to ask this question about party supremacy. We have seen situations, especially it has been loud and clear in the APC, even the PDP. The moment you become the governor, you automatically become the leader of your political party. Even the leader to the chairman that raised your hand up during primaries and said, this is the flag bearer of the political party. You automatically become a senior to your party chairman. So does your party also believe in the same, are you of the same school of thought? Or in your party, the party is still supreme?
Let's put it like this. Not only in APC, in every other PDP, we know that once you become governor, you are number one as far as that party is concerned. However, someone that has the interest of the people, someone that has been a listening type, will never go against the will of the people. And that is why when people say most of our political office holder change, I ask them, do you know them before they get to power? Majority of them, it is the media that sold them to us. By the time during this election, we thank God for the kind of movement Alhaji Oriyomi Hamzat created. By this time, you will have seen the gubernatorial hopeful person being on the road buying roasted corn, roasted barley, just to feel among, to be like, let people see me as one of them. So now, they don't come at us as someone we know, truly. It is what is being painted to us by the media.
The party does not do the homework before giving tickets to people.
Even those candidates, they cajole and they fool many party members. When they are coming, Yoruba used to say that when you want to get something on credit, you begin to do like you begin to behave as if you don't know what you are doing. By the time you get that thing on credit and you feel satisfied, you begin like you are not the boss. So what we are building in Accord, we made it known, and any of our aspirants, as far as those that have shown interest are concerned, they believe that party comes first. That is why they make sure that every party member is being carried along, down to the polling unit level. Because two heads are better than one. We say we want to rule. Governance is not a one-man business. It's a collective effort, collaborative effort. No matter what, these people that you use, they form your pillar of support during the election, maybe campaign and stuff like that. Till you get to power, you still need them in your administration. Because they know the nook and cranny of that state. They know that I live in Benla, you live in Oje. They are there, they are party member. They know what affects their people within that community. They tend to report to governor. But what we are having now is that I am the one, I'm the number one. That thing gets to their head. But as far as the Accord is concerned, we are managing our situation very well. There's no party crisis, nothing like I'm agitating for a particular thing. Because we know that the common goal is to be in power in 2027 and do the will of the people.
How expensive is politics in Nigeria as a country? And is your party also ready to play the same game?
Well, election can never come as a free. It is never done that way.
So who is bankrolling Accord party? Accord.
Accord as a party, like I said, we are backed by the people.
So the people bankroll Accord.
Awolowo said something that when sovereign gets to a particular stage, people tend to forget their differences, whether you are Muslim, Christian, Hausa, Igbos. They come together and face a common enemy. So what we are witnessing in Accord, no one has come out and say, I'm the one bankrolling Accord. As we speak. And we are pulling strings. Because this is even in the US, people donate for a cause. as big as Republican, as big as Democratic. They dominate for those parties. Accord is enjoying goodwill of the people. People are trooping out and say that this is the next best party, the best alternative as far as Oyo State is concerned.
So the statement you made now, when did that start? Is it after the arrival of Dr. Yomi Hamzat into your party or before then? And then is your party also riding on the wave of the recent merger you had with the Young People movement?
Well, before Dr. Yomi Hamzat joined us, we have been in existence and we know how we run our things. We engage. That is why our party is still active, because we meet the requirement of INEC. We are always on ground. It might not have been as big as this, but as 2027 is approaching, we begin to rejuvenate the mindset of our people. Resurgence of Accord was because of people who are disappointed at the current administration and the two parties, the two major parties we have. So now they now feel like, well, why are we queuing on the same line? Why can't we drive our own path? And the youth are the major strength of Accord because they form the largest voting bloc in Nigeria, the young people. So now they are trooping. Look at me now, I'm very young, I'm the publicity secretary. If you look at our youth leader, he's very young too. This has actually made young people feel like, wow, Accord is attractive. If they can give platform for this to this kind of personality, we can thrive as well. I can't count how many meetings I've had with young people that want to be part of this process from different local government. So now we are here, and when you're talking about the strength of Oyo, you know, for every serious candidate in any electionary circle, you must have your own independent structure, separate from the party structure. So now when you match your strength as a person, as a candidate, with the strength of the party, that is what makes a successful outing in any election.
So how strong is Accord in all 33 local governments in Oyo State?
Accord, as I'm talking to you, Accord is very strong. Many people say we are not on ground in Okiogun. I said no problem. When you get to Okiogun, you will know. We are very much on ground. However, we have to do everything in line with INEC guidelines. They hold meeting every time. If you check our Facebook page, our social media page, you see we keep engaging our people. Before I got here, I was coming from a meeting. So it shows that we are not just a pushover. We are the real force in 2027.
So what role do you think the youth will play in the next election, especially when it comes to grassroots mobilization and even women in Oyo State politics?
See, like I said, that the youth are the engine room of every developed or any country. Now I'm talking on behalf of the youth. We are the crossroad because for far too long, we have been marginalized. We were not given level playing ground. It is those that did little or nothing that are benefiting from what we did. I know the role I played in 2019. I know the role I played in 2023. Those that were not on ground, they are the one reaping the fruit of our labor now.
Was it because you left the PDP too early?
I was never a card-carrying member of any party. Accord is my first party.
But you worked with Engineer Seyi Makinde.
I, as a person, I study public administration. I write a lot. I'm a public affairs analyst. I criticize constructively. So now, and based on my own ideologies and my own personality, I don't want to join a party today, and tomorrow my allegiance will now switch, and people will now hold me to my order. Maybe you were there last 2 years. Why do you? No, that was why I was taking my time until I found a party that really matched my ideology. That is Accord. So here, Accord is the only party that can give room for young people because it's a part that is coming on board that represent opportunity for us. When you go to all this ministry, you see their kids there. So now the fathers and mothers are ruling, and they are one way or another they are enthroning their kids as well. So now they feel like they want us to remain followers forever. Now they call us leaders of tomorrow, leaders of tomorrow. When are we going to lead?
Okay, basically, let's talk about something really pressing. Is your political party working on forming a broader coalition, or you are also working to strengthen your current independent identity?
Well, you know, election comes with different peculiarities.
So there's a likelihood your party will merge with another political party.
If my party wants to make any alliance, they will come to us, not the other way around. So now we have a formidable team. As far as we are concerned now, the only aspirant that we have known in Oyo State today is Alhaji Oyemi Hamzat. APC has different tussles that they are like a ticket time bomb that is waiting for the right time to blow. So now they don't even know who is going to be who.
But APC is the strongest political party in Nigeria as we speak.
Maybe they may have the national spread. That doesn't mean the reality on ground in Oyo State is different.
So how do you rate the current reunion being done and the bridge building being done by some stalwarts in the party like Chief Adebayo Adelabu? I was talking about Senator Teslim Kolawole Folarin and so many other places, Chief Mrs. Florence Abiola Jimobi, and so other people trying to build bridges to see how they can bring the party together and be one once again.
You see, for a keen followers of politics, and we are a very good observer of things, you will see their reunion as more of center alignment. It has to do with the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not in Oyo State. So now, whatever you see, it's a cosmetic approach. They are trying to present themselves as being united. Whereas majority of the people that are defecting to APC or joining APC in Oyo State as well, we're talking about Hallelujah in Okiogun, they are aligning with the center. So because when you look at the rank, the camp of APC, who do you think, you know, has the temerity to be called a candidate in those camps? No, none of them. So yeah, they are working towards the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not to retain Oyo State. Give them their congress is in 2 weeks' time. Their convention is in 2 weeks' time. You will see the drama. We'll be here. We'll be watching.
So how prepared is your party, aside from what is happening in other political parties, how prepared is your party to attract credible legislative and executive candidates or aspirants, as judging by what is currently going on? The INEC has not given the green light to any party. How ready is your party to attract them into the party going into the 2027 general elections? Like
I said, that currently we have different aspirants across local. Even in the local government, we have more than 14 already. But what we are looking at, we are not looking at their financial war chest. We are looking at their credibility. We are looking at their antecedent.
Does that still work in the Nigerian political ecosystem?
That is why if you want to, you know, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. We are presenting a different approach. We are not looking at, okay, you have 5 houses in Canada, you have 3 houses in Lekki. We are looking at the constituency you want to represent. If you go back to your root, can they say something good about you? Because at the end of the day, you are not going to represent the governor. You will represent those people from your community. If you have not been representing them well, proud to you imagine as a candidate or being honorable, how well are you going to represent them when you eventually emerge? So we are looking at what have you been doing in your community? What is your public engagement? How well people are familiar with you? Do they trust you? So these are the criteria we are looking at to attract credible candidates. Because, like I said, governor cannot run a government only. It is combination of legislative arms, judiciary, executive cabinet, different essays, and relevant stakeholders. And as a governor has good intention, he must surround himself with like minds that can drive his policy. No matter how buoyant or audacious you can be as a governor, if you don't have quality team, you will not achieve anything.
So I suppose your party is watching closely what is going on in Oyo State, which is your area of interest. You feel you have what it takes to unseat the ruling party in Oyo State as we speak. But then what is your party's, Accord Party's long-term governance vision for Oyo State, especially when it comes to education, security, and economic development?
Well, like I said that, at this point in time, we cannot rule out our ideas because we look as if we are campaigning.
So your ideas for the party is still evolving? You are still making changes?
It is on ground. We know what we are doing. But time will tell by the time we start rolling it out. Because INEC has never given us the go-ahead to do that kind of a thing. So yeah, but what we are doing is that sustainability of what we are building is very, very paramount to us. We don't want this reason why after 2027 election, we now see maybe our governor defect to APC or no. We want to domesticate Accord in Oyo State. When you look at the ABGA in Anambra, no matter how big and how powerful APC or PDP is,
Labour in Abia,
God bless you, cannot even win ABGA. Whatever politics you are bringing at the center, they can align. But you see that seat, it belongs to ABGA. That is what we are going to do. That's why we are emphasizing on sustainability. We don't just want to, have unnecessary, baggage to our load. We are having a serious and vision-driven and solution-driven people in Accord as we speak.
So talking about baggage, there's a very big question that most people would want to ask you this evening. Is your party swelling or growing? It's a very big question. But then before you take that particular one, I want us to display the phone lines to the studio this evening so we can take a few calls before we leave this show. And I'm going to call the phone lines very shortly as far as it's displayed on the screen. But then, that very question, is your party growing or swelling?
Our party is growing. We are growing because, you can, if you want to win election, you have to be very, very strategic. And there are many people outside political space. When we're talking about political space, we're talking about we, the politician. We are not up to 10% of the total population. As far as the politician is concerned, we are not up to 10% of total population. So now, there are people that want to join political party, but they are so scared of the
which party to join?
Yeah, the kind of politics they play in other party. So that is why we as a party, we are making Accord attractive to our people. That is why you see us having different people. Today, I've received more than 10 calls from different local governments. I have people, I want to join Accord. Where can I get the party membership card? It shows that people believe in this Accord. Okay,
the studio lines to that is +234 91 651 22000 09165 122 that's the studio line to call this evening. So we'll take a few calls before we go. But then you are talking about potential alliances if political parties come to your political party, and also you have also mentioned the fact that there's no candidate yet. Obviously, INEC has not given the go-ahead for most parties to get that done. But what is the mechanisms put in place by your political party that will put you in a very good situation, especially when it comes to internal democracy going forward?
Well, like I said, our party has ideologies, and what we are building is that no matter the outcome of the primary, no one will feel agitated, and no one will feel neglected. It is very, very easier for us as a party that has never been in government to accommodate all our aspirants, whether you become candidate or you do not emerge as candidate. You have a place and a role to play in our party. So now, there are different mechanisms. Conflict resolution, we have put it in place. And this is human group, human assistance. You cannot rule out the conflict.
The likelihood of conflict.
It is bound to happen. But how you resolve it, it's what matters. And there are measures in place. We have constituted many committees already. This is not a party. What we are seeing on TV now, it's just like 2% of the work we put in, as far as Accord is concerned. But we want our result to speak. The result of our cookings, the result of our works, was what we saw.
Okay, I think we have a caller. We have a caller on the show this evening. So, hello. Hello. Okay, just before the call comes in, we'll take some comments also on YouTube and so many other channels this evening. So on YouTube, we have some comments here, and someone says, this accord today is bigger than the accord of Babaladoja. That's coming from Ayla on YouTube. Also, there are some other comments like, we are moving accordingly. All right, Accord is not yet a dominant force in Oyo State. That's coming from OPY Media. Says they do not have deep organizational infrastructure across all local government areas in Oyo State. That's something you are going to react to. Also, let me think about 3 of them so you can react. Okay, hello, we have a call. Hello. Hello, good evening. I guess that's the network, okay? There's another comment you are going to react to. Well done, my powerful PRO. Fire on. Let the masses know that we are not fools in Oyo State, okay? Accord Party is the only chosen party, and Oriyomi Hamzat is our next governor in 2027. You can react to this response.
Someone said we don't have a dominant...
Tajuddin Ojengbede. That was the comment from
someone said we don't have any structure across the territory local government. But I can tell you authoritatively that every dominant party today was once called too small to win. So now, what we are saying here, no matter how we want to paint it,
the APC also metamorphosed from
AC. No matter how much emphasis they laying on our structure, those people from the other end, they will still believe that we are structureless.
Okay.
Yet, but yeah, I want to tell that person, should go to his local government, you will see Accord
and find the structure
meeting.
there.
Go to ward, you will see structure of Accord. So yeah, it is not about coming here sugarcoating things. I want to put that as a contest. Go on the street, go to your local government, go to your ward and ask. You will see Accord structure in every local government and ward in other states.
All right, another comment from Amit Ombo says PDP and APC leaders are now afraid of Accord because of the masses that loves Alhaji Oriyomi Hamzat. All right, says a lot of things there and says with God everything is possible. Well done, Comrade BI. Okay. Do you think you now have a foothold in Oyo State politics, Accord Party?
Let me see this. When people say that the kind of crowd or the massive turnout on Saturday was, people will be swayed away by 5,000 token, 3,000 naira, stuff like that. I normally use this analogy that over the years, we have been presented with 2 devils, the APC and the PDP. And our people, if you know that the set of people that know how to vote very well is Oyo State people. They know how to vote very, very well. They are politically conscious. So now, at that point in time, they were given 2 devils. They had to look at, okay, we have to choose the lesser devil. So that was why when you give them money that time, they tend to, change their opinion. But as far as the Accord is concerned, now we are now brought in Angel. At this point in time, what we saw on Saturday, on the 17th January, was not financially induced. Even from the restriction from the PMS and the victimization of our members, people still came out en masse to show their love.
Did the restriction have any influence on what we eventually saw on the January 17th?
What we saw that day, it will have been times 3.
Was it an impediment?
Not at all. It was even a blessing to us because it shows that the doggedness of our people, their commitment to this cause, it is non-negotiable. That was why they came out in full force to show their love to us. We were not being paid. They were not being induced. They came voluntarily. Majority of them trekked to the stadium just to show their love and their support for their party and the aspirant. So this is a thing that you cannot boast of in any PDP or APC. I caught it here on live television. Let them try it. I've never witnessed anybody in Southwest, not only Oyo State, that can put that crowd without the structure of a party. Even with the structure of any party, they cannot put that crowd. It shows that the masses are tired. They want fresh air. That is why they are trooping. They are embracing Accord as the best and alternative party as we are speaking.
All right, comrade, thank you for joining us on the show this evening. It has been a wonderful session with you. But this conversation has not ended. You'll be back. I will talk about the progress of Accord Party and what has changed between now and that particular time. Thank you so much for being a part of the show this
Thank
evening.
you for having me.
It's a pity the network was a little bit shaky. We could not take calls, but then we were able to take a few comments on this show. And to Shitu Abdurazak, we say thank you for joining us. Also, Amit Ombu, Sherif Olaide also joined us on this show. Femi Shegun also joined us. Moshood Musa, and so many other people who were able to join and drop comments on our YouTube. And we say thank you for being a part of the show today. As we draw the curtain on tonight's edition of the Poliscope, one thing remains clear. The journey to 2027 in Oyo State will be shaped not only by the strength of political parties, but by the vigilance, choices, and the participation of the people. Whether Accord emerges as a challenger pushing the boundaries of the political space, or a contender ready to take center stage, the ultimate decision will rest with the electorate, guided by ideas, integrity, and impact. We appreciate Badru Idris Oriyomi for sharing his perspectives and engaging in this important conversation this evening. We say thank you for watching the Poliscope on Dominion Television, Ibadan, where we don't just report politics, we examine it. I am Samson Balogun, wishing you a pleasant evening. Join us again next week, same time, same station, as we continue to put the political lens on the issues that matter most to you. Thank you.